Hey, let's learn how to view resources referenced with AWS configuration using the CloudTrail Console. So first off, we must go to Events History and choose the event name that we'd like. Let's go to this one. AWS Config records configuration details, relationships, and changes to your AWS resources. So on the Resources Referenced pane, which is accessed right over here, Resources Referenced, choose the column which shows us the arrow and the clock. Let us search for it over here. There it is, the config timeline. In the config timeline column to view the resource in the AWS Config Console. Now, if the icon is gray, this means that AWS Config is not turned on or it's not recording the resource type. Choose the icon to go to the AWS Config Console to turn on the service or start recording that resource type. Okay, and if link not available appears in the column, the resource can't be viewed for one of the following reasons. Either AWS Config doesn't support the resource type, or AWS Config recently added support for the resource type, but it's not yet available from the CloudTrail console. You can look up the resource in the AWS Config console to see the timeline for the resource. Or the resource is owned by another account, or the resource is owned by another service, such as a managed IAM policy, or the resource was created and then deleted immediately, or the resource was recently created or updated. Now, for this resource, as we can see, its name is creator admin. It's an S3 bucket, and it seems that we have recently deleted it, though this is why it's gray. You can click on it in order to start recording resources with AWS Config if you'd like this to occur. And if not, you leave it as it is. So by this, we would have learned how to view resources referenced with AWS Config Timeline. Hi there guys, let's check out how to use the CloudTrail console in order to view details for an event. So for us to do this, we must first log into the CloudTrail console and head straight to Events History. From there, we choose an event in the results list to show its details, and we do this by clicking on an event name, for example, the put bucket policy right over here. As we can see, this has opened the event details right over here. And if the event referenced more than one resource, the additional resources will be listed at the bottom of the details pane right over here as resources referenced. We have one resource referenced. Its type is an S3 bucket. It has a resource name and a configuration timeline. So some referenced resources have links, like this one. We click on the link to open the console for that resource. So if you'd like to go to the console, you click on Creator Admin right over here. Choose View Event in the Details pane to view the event in JSON format. View Event, you will get the JSON format for this event right over here. And then click Close. Choose the event again to close the Details pane. And that'll be it for learning how to check our event details and the referenced resources and how to check them all. Hi guys, we can use our CloudTrail console in order to download specific events. You can download recorded event history as a file in CSV or JSON format. Use filters and time ranges to reduce the size of the file you download. CloudTrail event history files are data files that contain information like resource names that can be configured by individual users. Some data can potentially be interpreted as commands in programs used to read and analyze this data. So first off, you specify the filter and time range for events you want to download. Filter, for example, username. We select the username or role name for this. Let's go with Git 1975. Now for the time range, we select a specific time. For example, today is June 3 to 3. Let's see all the events that have occurred during this time. So uh, now, as we can see, the event history listed only the events that were made by the kit username, by the username kit 1975 during the dates that we specified on the top. Okay, that's great. So choose this button and then choose either to download using CSV format or export using JSON. The download will start immediately after you specify which format you'd like. For faster results, before you start the download process, you must use a more specific filter like we just did. This means we will get a faster download that will only download the events that were made by the username kit1975 during the time range of 3 that we specified early on. After the download is complete, you can open the file to view the events that you specified. If you'd like to cancel your download, you can simply click on Cancel Download when it occurs. And by this, you have learned how to download an event history.